Good evening to you all. In today's summary, one of the key highlights of the military parade that will take place on Sunday, 29th of June, as part of the National Day celebrations, will be the 21-gun salute, which is set up to take place at the Peace Park. The salute carried out by the Seychelles to be carried out by the Seychelles Defense Forces is a formal military tradition that honors the nation and reflects its sovereignty. Various other activities will also be organized across Mahé, Praslin, and La Digue. The deputy chairperson of the National Day Organizing Committee, Gérard Lafortune, said the military parade will start at 4 p.m. and end around 6:15 p.m.
This year's National Day Parade, on the occasion of the Independence anniversary, will probably be one of the biggest street parades, the military parades that is held in the streets of Victoria. Normally the parade lasts about 1 hour. This one will last slightly over 2 hours. And why is it longer this year? It's because we have gradually evolved, and this is the fourth time that we have a parade in the street of Victoria in recent years. And gradually we have added new activities, new elements within the parade. And this year we will have 2 marches by the military and the police and the youth. So they will march firstly in slow march, and then they will have a second march in quick march. And that is the first time that we're doing that.
The Seychelles Petroleum Company, CPEC, says that there is no immediate change in the price of fuel at the pump due to the war in the Gulf region and in the Middle East. The Chief Executive Officer of CPEC, Sarah Romain, says the company has its fuel stock and it is taking all necessary measures to ensure that fuel continues to be delivered. Mrs. Romain says CPEC is in contact with the company's fuel supplier, Total, and has assured that businesses is continuing despite the uncertainty following the war in the areas where the tankers pass to deliver fuel.
We have our supply until September, our current stock. So if the FX rate remains as is, we don't expect much changes in the price. Apart from the general fluctuations, we don't expect much changes. But in effect, yesterday, after the ceasefire, we saw that the price of fuel has gone down. It is now around $65 per barrel. And this provides us with some comfort because if you recall, in the 2022 conflict between Ukraine and Russia, the price of the barrel had shot up to $130 per barrel, and our price locally had gone up to 25 rupees, over 25 rupees. And today our price is 19 rupees 76. We don't expect much change over the coming weeks because we still have the stock and our prices are still based on me. We have been in touch with our supplier and they have reassured us that even if the disruption continues, for example, in the Middle East, and they will be able to source our products elsewhere because they have a strong presence outside of the Gulf. They are able to source product from Singapore, Fujairah, Oman, which are outside of the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the big choke points that if Iran shuts down, then this will affect global fuel movement. So we are reassured, firstly, because the price of fuel has not shot up on the international market, and secondly, Total has reassured us that the products will remain available and they do not foresee any disruptions for now. However, we are still concerned because we know that this market is very volatile and we know that the conflict in the Middle East is still very volatile and things may change. So we are constantly monitoring the situation, but for now we are reassured that the price of fuel will remain stable.
The government has announced that it is undertaking a reclamation project at Iloro to create new areas where businesses in the private sector can set up their business. This was announced during the third meeting of the Joint Economic Forum held at State House yesterday. Under this project, at least 320 plots of land will be allocated to businesses. The forum addressed several issues, including the availability of land in the districts and where it cannot be used in certain sectors it was originally allocated for. Another issue discussed was the phasing out of the business checks in the first quarter of next year, where the private sector felt there are issues still to be resolved to facilitate payment. The meeting also addressed the issue of anti-money laundering associated with ease of doing business. The Maritime Academy takes a big step forward to facilitate the study of the students of the Academy through the opening of its new quay. This facility will provide opportunities and assist in the development of the students in their learning process in the maritime field. The opening marks a new milestone for the Academy and one of several projects that the Academy will undertake to modernize their capacity and knowledge. The director of the Academy, Mahesa Abenayake, says that before it was difficult to handle and maintenance of the boat that SFA gave them because they had to use the Providence Quay, which is quite far from the Academy.
We started this project about a year ago. We reached out to SFA, and SFA then reached out to the European Union. European Union time to time looks out for us, and they provide funds. And there's a secretarial fund that was available, and they said, we have some funds, what do you want to do with it? So we said, yeah, we have a need for a jetty. For our Virgo, which is again part of your assets. You have to protect your assets. So they said, yes, okay, we will give you a jetty, and here are the funds. So thank you, European Union, for the funds.
More institutions other than commercial banks will now be able to offer credit facilities with the approval of the non-banking credit Granting Institutions Bill 2025 by the National Assembly late this morning. The bill, NBCI in short, was presented to the National Assembly by Vice President Ahmed Afif yesterday afternoon, and he was leading a delegation from the central bank, which also included the first deputy governor, Brian Comitan. Mr. Afif described the bill as an important law in the process to reinforce financial stability, to ensure good practices with regards to credit activities, and to encourage more financial inclusion on our local market. DBS and HFC are existing institutions which are already offering the service, and the new legal framework will cater for the setting up of other such institutions. LDS MNAs voted in favor of the bill, while US MNAs abstained from the votes. The office of the Ombudsman was at the Grand Anse-Pralin District Administration to not only educate the public but to lodge any complaints they may have, and the same will be done at the La Digue Administration tomorrow. Although no complaints have been lodged today, there are 47 active complaints, 5 of which are from Pralin and La Digue. The largest complaints are from the office that the office have received are from the law enforcement agencies, and the Office of the Ombudsman feels education and awareness are vital.
As a strong democracy, it requires citizens that understands their rights, their duties, and also the systems of governance within the Constitution. So in that light, we've developed an infographic with Justice Renaud, chairperson of the Seychelles Human Rights Commission, to bring an interpretive and educative lens to the Constitution. I think it's important to come down to these sessions and sit with us, and as we go through the various chapters of the Constitution, I think it will bring a lot more awareness to an understanding of the Constitution and your rights and obligations as a citizen.
That was your news. Good evening.